What's going on, guys? Matt with Motorworks here, and I have a little bit of a G310 update. I got a couple more questions from you guys about the G310. So in this video, I'm just going to go over some of those questions and give you the best answer I can. I'm going to try and keep this video short, but here we go. Let's get started. Now the first question I'm going to answer is there a way to reset the service indicator on this bike in terms of some way of just going in, hitting a few buttons on the instrument cluster and resetting the light? To my knowledge right now there's not. You have to use either BMW's tool or the GS911 special tool to actually go in, because it's more than just turning off the service indicator. You're actually setting the date as well as the next mileage interval. So to my knowledge right now, I haven't found any way of going in and actually doing that through pushing a series of buttons. If somebody does know out there, drop a comment below with a link to where you found that information out. But to my knowledge right now, there's nothing that actually currently exists telling you how to do that without using the computer. So I'm working on it for you guys, but to this point right now, I am unsure, and I will keep looking for any information out there. Another thing I want to clear up, I see a couple people asking me about performance upgrades to these, and as I said previous, I don't currently own a G310. I do work on the G310, but I don't own it personally. So an exhaust, different filter, performance upgrades like an aftermarket fuel programmer, stuff like that, I will not be able to install on this bike because, again, I don't own the bike. I'd like to own the bike. If I get to a point where I'm monetized and actually making money from YouTube, then there is the possibility that I would buy one and then I could modify it to my heart's content. I could even possibly do a giveaway on the bike, but again, I'm not currently monetized now, so that's a lot of money to put into a bike, and I don't really have the funds to do that, and then also the other projects that I have coming up. Now, with that in mind, I do have some projects coming up, so G310 stuff, you guys let me know what you want to see, and you've been doing a good job of it. I will keep putting videos together on these bikes, but I do have other projects coming up, and I would greatly appreciate it, guys, if you would check out those videos as well. Help the channel grow to a point where, again, like I said, we can get one of these and we can work on this and actually do a lot of the stuff, aftermarket things you're looking for, levers, things like that. I could then certainly do videos on that if I own this bike personally. All right, moving on. I can show a video on how to lower this. I don't have the lowering link, but I will do a video on how to remove the shock and the things you need to modify to lower it. I'll also have pros and cons on lowering the bike. I will have a video for that. I can show you how to remove this tail section for those that want to know how to do that, because obviously I took the turn signal off of this, so I can do a video on how to remove the tail section, how to replace the tail or the turn signal. So that is a video I can do for you. People wanted to know about fork seals. As soon as we have one of these where a fork seal blows out, I will have a video on how to replace the fork seals in this bike, because it is an upside down fork. Things are a little bit different than just your conventional fork. I will have a video on rear brake pads and how to replace them. If that's something you guys would like to see, again, drop a comment below, let me know. All right, so that's kind of an update, kind of things that I will do on the bike going forward. But as always, guys, if there is something that you have a question on, I'm more than happy to answer it. Now, let's kind of go over kind of a mid-season update on what I've been seeing as far as issues with the bike currently. These bikes here are 3 bikes currently that we have with starter clutch issues, where if you try to start the bike, it won't start because the starter clutch is bad. Now, we use these bikes for training, and these bikes go through, I don't know, a startup procedure at least, at a minimum, 25 times. These bikes will be started and stopped in a perfect class where nobody stalls. Well, a lot of our classes, people stall these pretty often, and that is one of the main complaints that I see pop up on these, is that these stall too easily. Now, for me, in a motorcycle training environment, that's okay. I'm okay with a bike stalling. It helps teach the students how to modulate their throttle as well as clutch release controls a lot better than, say, a bike that perhaps doesn't stall as easily, and then you could run into other problems where maybe that bike should have stalled and that person would have been better off. But that's neither here nor there. These bikes do have a tendency of stalling a little bit easier than other bikes. I wouldn't say it's a vast difference. They do stall a little bit easier if you're not properly modulating that throttle. So with that being said, in addition to the 25 times that they typically will be started and stopped during a typical class, they're probably started 30, 35, maybe even 40 times during a typical class. And I think that accelerated use of the starter and the constant strain on the starter clutch is why these starter clutches went out in what seems like an earlier time. These bikes have about 200-300 miles on them, but in that time they've probably been started several hundred times. So I don't think it's an issue. There's only 3 out of a fleet of about 30, so it's only a 10%, only 10% failure at this point. So I don't think it's a major issue, but it is something I'm looking at. Other than that, though, I mean, the bikes themselves have been pretty flawless. That's the only complaint that I've had so far. There's no other issues. I mean, aside from breaking levers when they fall over, but that's pretty much any bike, guys. So as far as reliability-wise, they seem to be pretty durable and they're holding up fairly well. Well, that's our update for the G310 up to this point. Like I said, guys, I will have other projects that I'm going to be starting here soon. Matter of fact, end of this week, I do have an announcement on a bike project that I want to get underway. I will still have G310 stuff. Again, I'm not going to forget about you guys out there. Again, as always, guys, I thank you for subscribing. Appreciate all the love and support that you're putting into my channel. But we'll see you in the next video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for checking it out, guys.